Okay, welcome back. This week we're talking about how you can teach math in the home. It's actually a follow-up to our last video. If you haven't seen that video, then go back and watch it now. It talks about trying to change your mindset about math in the home. Three ways that you can change that mindset. So the first one is to try to make it real. Put away those worksheets and try to put math back in its context. So make something, do something, build something, and then try to draw the math out of it there. A couple good examples of this are at the school. We tried to always do a lot of really complicated and complex projects that the kids wanted to do, and then just talked about the math inside there. So for example, building a Viking shield. That was a super complex math project, and it was because they wanted to do it. And so inside that project, you can imagine all of the math that would need to be talked about and shored up because you wanted to make your Viking shield better. Circumference and diameter and radius and all of those concepts. And as they apply to each other, it really brings out a lot of rich, interesting math. Rockets. We loved rockets, and so the kids wanted to keep sending up rockets, and so all of the things that are needed to build a rocket and to shoot a rocket up, there's tons of math principles that are included there. You can just go on and on with all of these projects that your kids are going to want to build, and then just start there with the math. Do the math that's necessary for that particular project, and make it very obvious that math is the thing that is going to make that project better. And kids will never ask the question, why are we doing math with this? Because they'll see that math is the thing that will make it better.
And it's really flipping it around, because usually when we learn math, it's like, oh, just trust me, you have to learn this, but just trust me. And so really try to switch it around to where it's, here's the project, and then you draw out the math in that project. So the second one is making it playful. So this is important because you probably know that we just have a lot of negative emotions that are attached to math. There's a lot of groaning, there's a lot of crying that happens with math. So there's just a lot of negative emotions. So a great way to counteract that, if your child is just struggling with math, why have I learned math? Or they just at some point have turned off math and said, I'm not going to do it, I hate it, I'm not good at it. This is a great one to apply for that, and that is making it playful. And what I mean by that is try to make it have positive associations instead. So play with math. So I literally mean games and board games. There's so many card games that you can just switch around and bring out the math. We play war, but instead of just putting a card down, we put two down, and depending on whatever math principle we're learning, whether it's addition with a younger child or multiplication, we do that, and they put two down. We put two down each, and they have to multiply or add those two, and then whoever has the higher number wins the war, right? So you play lots of fun games with them, and you make it a fun thing. So they start to have positive associations with math again. And that is a great way to just switch it around. Switch around for both you and for them. Make it fun, make it playful.
So the third one is talk about it every day. Math is all around us, and it's so easy for us to talk about. But I think there's a little bit of a there's a little bit of a wall up in our minds because of like Sidra was saying, the negative emotions that we have towards math. Because of the traditional way of teaching math. So if we can put those walls down, math is just everywhere, and we have the opportunity to talk with our children all the time about math everywhere we go.
Yeah. So one thing, we lived in Asia, and I know that the U.S. in the last 10 or so years has really looked to Asia and their scores with math. One of the reasons that they actually excel with math is they just have a different outlook towards math. They sit around, you know, in America we sit around, we kind of tell stories and stuff. We're very language arts oriented. There they sit around and they actually do like math puzzles and stuff. Their communication is very math oriented. And so one great way to just make math come alive in your home is to find ways, and usually it has to start with the parent, right? To find ways to just bring out the math in normal everyday life. When you're cooking with your child is one of the best math activities ever. So just bring out the math, make them double the cookie recipe so you can eat more cookies and they can do the math and they can learn to double fractions.
Or make them half the recipe because we all need to lose a few pounds,
right.
And then all of a sudden you're making it a little bit more complicated.
Yes, and so just bringing out that math. Another way is, okay, say you're in the car and you're preparing for a birthday party. You pick up a cake and it's cut into 20 pieces. And but you have 15 guests coming. So instead of you doing that in your head, give that to your kids. Oh, wow, we have 15 kids coming and there's 20 pieces. So how many pieces does everybody get? You know, start to just give them the math that's always kind of going on in your head as a parent and kind of hand that problem to them. And as you make it part of your everyday life and you just start to change your own paradigms and you start to think, okay, these little math problems that I'm having, I'm going to say them out loud, you'll start to see how math is really a part of our lives, and you can hand that to your children and they'll start to see, okay, math is actually a thing we use, and that just changes everybody's mindset, I think. So this week we've gone over those 3 principles. I want you to give it a try, and in the comment section below I want you to tell us how it went. Try it out in the car, try it around the dinner table, try it while you're cooking, and let us know how it went. Give us your stories. We love to hear them. Ask us questions. We would love to answer those. And we will, if you subscribe to our newsletter, look for the link also below and subscribe to our newsletter. We are going to actually give you lots of resources, some of our favorite resources for looking at math a different way. You know, if you have more of an artist brain, we have a great YouTube channel for that our artist daughter loves. We have a lot of resources that we would love to share with you. So subscribe to our newsletter below and we will share those resources with you. There's a lot of fun ones out there for math.
And subscribe to the channel, like this video, and we will see you next week.
See ya.